Okay, good day everyone. Welcome to another episode of Do Tag with Ifeoluwapoboye. This is a special episode because this is the first episode of the year, and Happy New Year to you guys for those listening. And this show is gonna be special because I have six people with me. Literally, we don't even. I'm not really sure we know what we want to discuss here, but we just basically just talk about what's our plans for the year, what we plan to do, and on the show today, I have Mubarak. Mubarak is a full stack engineer at Insomnia. I have Bushra Ahmed. She's a data ops engineer at Yellowcard. Iyanu, a mobile engineer at Morning Point. Leke, the chief technical officer at GoWager. Kahlid Abdulwahab, senior mobile engineer at Number. And Oluwasegun Mudowale, senior data engineer at Pro. So all these guys are tech gurus. Does anybody want to introduce himself? I'm not sure if I'm doing justice to the introduction. Is there something I'm not saying about you that I want to talk about? Yeah.
Add add thought leader to Yanu's bio.
Uh, anyways, you're correct. I'm rebranding though. I'm rebranding as
Ah,
a top leader, just like Leke said. I want to be dropping gems here and there.
uh, that's nice, no. Shogo, anything that you want to add about to your introduction? I'm pretty sure you're more than just senior data engineers, bro.
Yeah, so nothing much. I think that summarizes everything about me. Maybe I just add a little bit to that. So, I'm a Christian, and I love art, sort of, and I also love to travel. Yeah, so that's it for me.
Oh, okay. That's nice. That's nice. Leke, any other thing you want to add to yourself?
For me, CTO, Chief Technology Officer at GoWager, and co-founder of GoWager as well. Also, head of engineering at Insomnia Labs, New York. Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's all from my side.
Okay. Mubarak.
Yes. Mubarak here. Um, Full stack Web3 engineer at Insomnia Labs, New York, together with Leke, my guy. Yeah. Apart from
Okay.
work, I think for myself it's just I'm a pretty chilled guy. And I like to take things calm. Yeah, anything I do, I like to take
Oh,
things calm, relax. Yeah, that's it for me.
oh,
Yo,
that's all.
but wait, how many female listeners do you have?
Okay, I think actually Spotify has a way of splitting the gender of listeners. I think I can check that out for you, but might not be now, Sha.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's from Mubarak, don't worry.
okay. Khalid.
I I mean, there is nothing. I'm pretty boring really, but I talk a lot when I'm comfortable, right? So that like because yeah, that's just who I am. And
Oh,
yeah, I work at GoWager too, right? So yeah, don't tell my guys at number, but I do work at GoWager. So yeah, that's it about work. I'm the kind of person I am. Um chilled. I like to have fun. I like to enjoy myself. I like food. Amala is my best food, and I like rice.
Bushra.
Okay. Yeah. So, um, like you said, I'm a data ops engineer. Well, most of the thing I do is really around data engineering. But when I'm not working, yeah, I'm probably busy eating or watching a food video, like maybe watching somebody eat. Yeah, I do that a lot when I'm not working. Then also I recently
Mm.
got interested into got interested in quantitative finance. So I've been doing a lot of that recent. Yeah. So yeah, those are like the two things you can catch me doing when I'm
Oh,
not like working.
oh, okay. That's nice. quantitative finance. I only knew what finance was. I didn't ever knew there was quantitative finance. But that's good to know. Thank you guys. So really, 2023 has been quite a lot, right? A lot of ups and downs, a lot of challenges that has been going here and there, right? And I know there must be probably that one thing that you are most grateful for, something that looking at the whole 2023, that you can just summarize and say, okay, this is what I'm most grateful for 2023. So I'll start with Iyanu. Sorry, I keep starting from Iyanu. What's like that thing that I was grateful for in 2023?
Funny how I'm still thinking about it, but honestly, I'm grateful for growth. That's like the most important thing that I'm grateful for. Um, it's just growth basically. I I was able to like do some things that I didn't know that I could do last year, and I don't know, like it was like some sort of confidence boost, and yeah, I'm grateful for growth really. That's it. I would have said more, but you called me first, so
Sorry about Bushra. Let's see. What are you most grateful for 2023?
Okay. Two things actually. So first, I'll
Okay.
say family because I'll say 2023 was more like the only year after school. At least I spent so many years in school, so it wasn't like it was majorly me in school and all. But now after school, I think I was able to spend so much time with my family, and like it could be that I'm with my parent this week, then the next month I'm with someone else. So it was a lot of family time, which I'm really grateful for. Then also career growth. I'll say I had a lot of career growth in 2023. Like I did a lot of things that normally I would be like, oh, okay, do I know this thing? But yeah, I did those things, and I'm really super proud of myself right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good to know. Khalid, what's the thing that you're most grateful for, like for year 2023?
Uh, I mean, I think the most important thing for me, like the thing I'm most grateful for really was the gift of choices. I mean, I
Okay.
had quite a tough year actually, right? But then it didn't feel tough because I just had choices. I had different choices. Like I had, I don't know, should I say choices? I don't know the right word, but I just had like options. Yeah, I think options is the right word. Yeah, so I
Okay.
had options.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the gift of options, and also I think family too was really important because yeah, it was, yeah, and friends. I had good friends. Some of them are here, many of them are here, all of them are here, sef. But yeah, I had very good friends, supportive friends and stuff. So yeah.
Thank you for that, Khalid. Yeah, because really, I think we might even dwell a bit more on that choice that you made mention of. It might not be now, maybe something that we'll talk about in the course of the podcast, right? That ability to make choices. Because to me, I feel that's like one of the things that people envision to be when they say, okay, I want to be independent, right? That's um ability to say I want to do this and I'm not doing that, I want to do that. So literally we are going to talk more on that. But let me just give Mubarak a chance to talk about what he's most grateful for 2023.
Thank you. I think for me, it's I would say I'll put it into three. One is gift of life. Um, yeah, I'm just really grateful for that because I'm able to keep going, right? Second will be the gift of amazing friends. So in 2023, I think the previous years as well, a couple of things happened that they are enough to probably just keep a man down forever, man. But when you look at the kind of friends you have,
Mhm.
when I look at the friends I have, the circle I'm in, family as well, right? There is this constant source of motivation to keep going. So I'm really grateful for that. And I think the last thing, of course, not the last thing, but the third most prominent thing would be um, that I'm able to keep my sanity,
Mm,
which will makes me
interesting.
able to keep making good choices, right? So yes, I think that's it.
Oh, interesting. Wow. Well, mental wellness is something that one is to be grateful for actually, because literally me myself I kind of had like my own form of episodes in 2023, and I was, thank God, I can say one of the things I'm grateful for also is that I was able to keep my own mental wellness at the right level. Also to have somebody to even talk to in our times. Really, I think that is one of the things I'm most grateful for 2023. Leke, um, 2023, how was it for you?
Yeah, 2023 was great. All in all, of course, a lot of ups and downs, but I think a couple of things I'm very grateful for was opportunity.
Okay.
Well, just like getting opportunities to eventually achieve some of the things I wanted to achieve like in the years leading up to 2023. I was able to like move out of the country in 2023, so big
Oh,
one.
nice.
Big big wins. I'm very grateful for that opportunity. I think that thing too is Go Wager. I'm very grateful for how far Go Wager has come. Since we had the idea to building it out and launching in April 2023, right? Big moves and yeah. So I'm very grateful for Go Wager team and Go Wager generally and our users as well. Up to like 20,000 users. You know,
Oh,
so
nice.
it's like a big one because like when you're building stuff, you never see like you never. I mean, you have the vision of what you want to accomplish, but you never know if it's gonna become a reality, right? So, really
Mm,
grateful for Go Wager, you know.
okay. Yeah, so to talk about Go Wager, for a lot of people that don't know what Go Wager is, like I would like if you can just maybe just talk a few minutes about what, not a few minutes, a few seconds about what Go Wager is, or like pitch it to our audience.
Yeah, Go Wager is peer-to-peer wagering app, like the name implies. Go Wager. So it's basically like escrow funds of people that want to get involved in a wager on anything, on everything, right? So it could be we want to talk about Man U's next game. I know Kahlid and Iyanu are big Man United fans,
Mm.
but Man United has been iffy
Must you
this
say
season
it?
generally.
Must you say it?
So, but yeah, so if I want to bet on Man United's next game and say like, oh, Man is gonna lose their next game, instead of me going to like a sports book and betting against odds, right? Betting against odds and things like that, I could just bet against someone like Khalid or Iyanu that believe in their team so much, right? And
Mm.
then say I bet $10, Man loses their next game, and then Khalid bets $10 as well. That's $20, right? And go will keep that money for you so that when my they will lose. I know they will lose. So when they do lose, right? Kai does not like say he doesn't want to give me my money, right? Because that money is already
Oh.
with Go Wager. So
Mm.
that's what we do with Go Wager. We also have a lot of other friends in Go Wager, but let them take off the space all the time. I think we can talk about it later on in the podcast as well. But
Okay.
what you have noted that we are currently raising our pre-seed. So hit
Oh,
me up,
that's nice.
hit me up, hit me up. I know rich
That's
people listen to your podcast, so yeah.
yeah, that's nice. For those listening, if you're interested in being a part of Go Wager's Vision, say you guys reach out to me. I'll link you up with Leke, and you guys can have a discussion on it. Yeah, that's fine. Shogo, 2023. What are you most grateful for?
Yeah, I'm most grateful for, I think, three things. I'm grateful for my family. So this year, or let me say last year, actually, like I'm very grateful for like how I've been able to spend time with them, relate more with them, and family is a, like, you can't choose your family, right? There's no way you can choose your family. You're born
Yeah.
into it, and I'm really grateful
Mm-hmm.
that I'm born into my family. Especially for last year, my family, they've always been supportive, but like last year they were more, like the supportive attribute was like continued again. I was seeing more. Then I'll say I'm grateful for um relationships and friendships, or let me just call it associations generally. um like, I'm grateful for people that I know. I'm grateful for people that I've met over the years. I met a couple of other people last year that were very pivot to my growth, that were pivot to like other things that relate to like my success and some of the things I'm going to be doing this year. So I'm really grateful for that, and also grateful for clarity in things that I do personally. So there were things that helped shape my personal work and like thought process, like throughout last year, and like even coming to this year. I had like clarity into what I am supposed to do. Like, I'm not dabbling around multiple things. So I'm really grateful for those things, and looking forward to what else I'll be grateful for in 2024.
That's nice. We'll literally be talking about some of the things that we'll plan to do for 2024, and kind of just maybe just touch a bit on them, and we'll talk to our users. Some of them might gain a bit of insight to what they think they can do for 2024, hearing from you guys. But before that, there's a topic that has been on my mind, and I think I want us to kind of discuss, right? So it's basically, how do you deal with disappointment? So now we know that 2023 we have all faced a level of disappointment at some point. I'm pretty sure 2023 was not a clean slate. And I knew you overcome the disappointment, or you passed this disappointment. Now I just want to know how you were able to do it. So just to share like a simple story, this literally happened to me. That was yesterday. This new year I've not used up to 3 days, and something happened to me between yesterday and today. So I literally got scammed, like literally got scammed. And
Damn.
it was crazy because this year one of the things that was in my mind was where I'm staying in the house. Like, I want to try and make it a bit more comfortable for myself. So, and one of the things I planned was that, okay, for this year I want to try and fix solar for the house, right? Because the light here is not so stable. So I was trying to fix solar. So, and I went online to search, okay, who does solar and everything. So I saw somebody. I know it's might not be the best, my best approach to it, but this is literally what happened. So I went to Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, okay, let's see what is even available, right? And I saw one person, and person was like, yeah, he sells this and sells that. Okay, I was like, no, no problem. So I was not looking for the big solar installation that would require having batteries externally. I wanted the full one single component that has everything as one, like they call it a
Mm-hmm.
solar generator, right? So, and
Mm.
I reached out to the person, and I was like, okay, please, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I went for their highest spec, right? I wanted the
Damn.
highest spec. So it told me this was the amount I was supposed to pay, and I was like, okay, that even if I don't have the full amount, right, that I can stretch the payment for maybe I think like 5 months. I was like, okay, why not? That's fine. You get, so 5 months, I can stretch payment in 5 months and all that. So I was like, okay, that everything is good to go. That I should make.
CDK.
Nah, nah, nah.
so so he told me that I should make payments. That once I make payments, that will send the person that will come and install it. So he's at Lagos. I know I was so excited, also to the extent that I did not ask the basic questions like, where is your office? Is there any physical location or something like that? But the whole excitement was just so there. And I sent part payment to the person. this I literally sent half of the money to the person because I was like 5 months. I should be able to sort this thing out within 2 3 months, right? So I sent half payment to the person, and he said he was going to send me a receipt. The receipt was looking very sketchy. Literally everything was giving me red flags for this thing. But my mind was focused on the fact that I trust this guy. I cannot do me anything like that. So I cannot be
How do you
scammed. This is a
trust
new
him?
year.
Wow.
This is a new year.
Big mistake, bro.
Honestly, I like when I was just thinking about the whole thing, I was like, what happened? Was it like they took your brain from yourself and somebody else was thinking for you, or
Maybe
what
he
was
used
going on?
that.
Because I
Which
literally
jazz,
just don't
yo?
understand. Like if I
Which jazz?
because
Which jazz?
because the thing is, if somebody is the one telling me the story, I'll be like, you are a foolish girl. Like you did not do well
Yeah.
at all. Do you get? So so he told me, he said, no problem, that the person that will come and fix it will come from Lagos. Oh God, I was so foolish. I should not lie. So the person that was supposed to fix it called me this morning and said, okay, that is already coming, oh, that he needs to get some wires for the installation and everything. No, it said I needed to send like an extra
The
10K. I know. I
no,
sent I sent the 10K, right?
Ah,
Then
no.
it was on the journey, was coming. He said he had gotten to Ore, okay, Lagos. Of course, you have to pass Ore if you're coming to Akure from Lagos. So he said when he got to Ore that his tire he had a flat tire, and he needed to change it, and he did not have extra money with him and all those kind of things.
ah.
Bro, no, no, no. Bro,
Get another
don't break
one.
my heart, bro. Do not break my heart.
Don't worry, see, you guys listen. So he said he needed like extra 15K. Okay, no problem.
Ah.
Because I was
For
just
who
so
tire?
I was just so enthusiastic about having this solar thing in the house because I've literally been dreaming about it since like the end of um last year, since December. I was like, okay, this January I'm going to do this thing. So my mind was not even thinking about the other red flags. I was just focused on the fact that it's coming. I did that, sent the 15K. When it was coming again, I think he said it was close to Akure. He said it was stopped by FRSC people. And for those that don't know what FRSC means, for those that are not listening in Nigeria, it's Federal Road Safety Commission. They're in charge of our roads, basically. So they stopped him and they were like, they're checking what he was bringing, his load, his the things. So he now said that I did not carry a paper or something. So he reached out to me. That was when my mind went back to normal for a while, and I was like, okay, that should not be my responsibility. You're traveling with this
Right.
equipment, you should have all the necessary documents, everything that you need to carry with you and all that. Roy was like, like, I don't know, I thinking about it, I felt so stupid, so stupid. He said he needed 5K to sort out the FRSC people. Okay, I sent the 5K.
Ah.
So immediately after that happened, so he said he was going to take like
Bro, that's like
another
that's that's 30K, bro. That's 30K.
just
Pause right there, bro. That's 30K at this
Miscellaneous.
that
30K
plus exactly 30K of miscellaneous plus the initial amount I've sent, the part payment I've sent for the initial code. So okay, he said within 30 minutes it was going to that it was close to Akure. Within 30 minutes it was going to get to Akure. Okay, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes.
one
Hey,
day.
where's this guy? That was that was when my brain started coming back to normal. I was like, okay, if I think I think
Wait,
it has
wait.
happened.
He didn't ask you to
Okay.
come outside and
I'm telling you, the scam was.
Oh,
So
damn.
like I was like, okay. And I called the guy, what's up now? What's going on? He said, I'm on my way. Cut the call. Then I called him back again. Then it was started doing line busy, line busy, line busy. That was when I knew, okay, I think it has literally happened this time around. I went to my neighbor, spoke to my neighbor that let me use his own number to call him. He picked the guy's number. Immediately he had my voice. he cut the call and switched off the phone. So, like
Damn.
at that point, I just felt, shit. Okay, I think I've been scammed. True. Like true. And literally, the money, yes, the money I lost was very painful. Yes, it's there, but I was most disappointed because this is something that I wanted to do at the beginning of this year, right? I wanted to fix the solar, and the opportunity came around, and I was so how would I put it now? I was so enthusiastic towards it for it to come down to my place, but it failed. So that sense of disappointment was there. Even this podcast, I was like, I'll I be mentally ready for this podcast? But I was like, guys, I've already booked it for you guys, and we have to do this thing. You get so that sense of disappointment is there, and it's happening on the third day of the year. The years I've never entered a week yet. This is like 3rd of January, and this is already happening. Like, what a way to start a year! You get my point. So I was like, okay, this is I really need to find a way to deal with it, right? So, I spoke to someone. They were like, no, just move over it. You'll be fine and all. So that's like my own background story of being disappointed concerning something, and very painful. But I don't know. What do you guys think in when you face something that comes in a disappointing form to you? How do you walk past it, or how do you move from it? So I don't know if anybody wants to share his thoughts. Just let me know. Maybe Khalid, you can start.
Hmm. So how do I deal with disappointment? I think for like
Mm-hmm.
I'll be hard guy, right? I the format guy at least. It's not like I'm hard, but I so yeah, I just move on
Mm,
pretty much. And like my moving on is quite fast. So if it happens today, tomorrow I'll probably be at a party or something or something. Like it will just
mm,
you won't know it happened unless I actually tell you. And that's why I said last year
mm,
I had quite a disappointing year, right? But
mm,
nobody, if I didn't tell anybody, like if I didn't tell anybody what happened, the things that happened to me last year, everybody would probably think this guy is fine. He's spending money,
mm.
he's driving car, he's eating good food and stuff.
Okay.
So
Oh, goodness.
yeah,
He dey
yeah.
he dey go Ashake show.
I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? That boy is a good soldier, please.
Really, honestly, because sometimes that moving on part is where I think some people find it very difficult to do. You have a way of coping with it. You say you probably look for something else to do that takes your mind off it. But there are some people that don't move past it very easily. What do you think they can do, Mubarak? What's your own advice as regarding moving past disappointment?
Yeah.
Yes, just like Khalid said, I also like to think of myself as a hard guy. So yes, I do also move
Mm,
past things easily, but I think recent years has taught me that it's when you're faced with issues, that's when you actually know if you can actually move past it, right? When you hear someone else's story, you might
mm,
think, "Oh, why is that keeping you down?" Right? But it's probably because you haven't been through that yourself, right? So I think you have a wide audience. I don't
Yeah.
want to. There's a Yoruba saying, "Ẹni tí ìjà ò bá dé bá ló máa ń pera ẹ̀ lọ́kùnrin." For people who don't understand Yoruba, I think I can put that in English and say it's until you're faced with issues that when you're when you're not faced with issues, you might think you are the guy, right? So until you're faced with those things, that's when you
yeah,
actually,
you're
yeah,
the hard
stuff
guy.
like that. So for me,
Yeah, why you shading Khalid?
now I'm not shading. I'm not shading. I also think of myself. No, it's not.
I mean,
It
direct shade,
really
but
isn't, right? Like for myself, I also think of myself as a hard guy. For 99% of things, I would move past it instantly,
Mm,
man, instantly. Last year, I had a nasty accident around, I think, ending of July. Um, it was a crazy accident. My car was totaled basically, but I bounced out of it and I was fine physically, right? No injuries, nothing. instantly I was thinking of calling the tow vehicle to move that car out of there so I can go back to my house ASAP. Right? I don't have time to be thinking, oh my god, how much will I fix this car, this and that. I noticed everybody was fine. There was another car in the accident with me. Everybody in the car was fine. Man, I my mind was off it instantly. Do you understand? So for things like that, there is no injury to myself. There is no injury to the people involved in the accident. So for that, I feel I don't have any reason to be down about that, right? I can instantly move past it because the cost is not something. I think I can easily undo the outcome of that, right? So I think that's why I was able to move past it instantly. But there have been a lot of other things that um, they've happened, and man, I just couldn't just shake it off like that. So I think the way that what has been helpful to me to overcome those things, most times it's when I look at people around me, right? It's you can't emphasize it enough. You can't overemphasize it. Your circle determines your outlook in life, right? If you move with people who likes to stay down on little things, well, I can call them little things to myself. But if you move with people who likes to stay down on little things, it wears off on you as well, right? So when you look at people in your circles and they are your sources of motivation, I think that helps you to move past some things that might be difficult for you to navigate yourself. So I think that's the first thing, really. Associate yourself with great-minded people. That's the first thing, exactly. Second thing would be yeah. Second thing would be family for me. Um, I'm blessed with a great family. I'm glad about that. Of course, there are downsides, but for the most part, I can always go to my mom and she doesn't push me away, no matter what it is. Right. So there is love there, and it always helps. It always helps. You can't outgrow your family, no matter what. You can't choose them, right? You can't choose them, but you can't also outgrow them. So even in the bad times, when bad things happen, you don't push them away because they weren't there for you or stuff like that. You reparate those things because they are the ones that are always going to be there for you, always. So I'm always grateful for that because it's my second source of that energy to keep going no matter what happens. So yes, I think that's pretty much how I navigate those things.
Yeah, in addition to what Baraka and Khalid have actually shared, so I think in terms of disappointments, um, so the reason, like many people don't or are not able to handle disappointments most time, one is because like we we like to live in like illusion that okay, that disappointment did not happen. So like the first thing I see most times to disappointment is to embrace it, like just accept that it has happened already, um and live in the reality that it has happened, and just that's just the first step, like embrace it. Because sometimes like we want to, I don't want to use like I don't like, I've heard some of us use the word like maybe like shake it off or something. And maybe not shake it off, because if you shake it off doesn't mean that it did not happen. So like in the process of trying to shake it off, that's when we'll be struggling and be thinking more about it and whatnot. So like it has happened. Yes, it has happened. What you hoped for did not come through, or the application went south, or I don't know, whatever it is, right? So that is the first thing I think, like, I don't know, maybe for me is like embrace it almost immediately. Embracing it can mean anything to you. It may be maybe just like at that particular time you separate yourself, or some people it may be to cry, right? Some people it may be to just own it up. Some people just like absorb it, right? But I really think that the first thing is to just embrace that it has happened. Like don't live in the illusion that I don't want to believe that this thing really is it me? Like did this thing really happen to me? Like, you know, So like just embrace it. Like Mubarak was talking about an accident. I had an accident. I think 2 weeks ago. Uh, I was on my way to Lagos. And like I was not the one driving. I was beside the person driving, and in a very short period, I was pressing my phone. And I looked to my left. I saw that we were stuck under a trailer, like a truck, right? And you know, at that particular time, like the people in like that were at the back were shouting Jesus and stuff, and not as if I don't want Jesus to save us, but I was totally quiet all through, and I was just my mind was my mind was blank and everything. And like Mubarak said, immediately we were able to just like get ourselves out of get ourselves unstuck from the truck, right? I came down from the car. I saw that nobody was hurt, and my mind was not attached to the damage to the car. My mind was really just grateful that okay, nobody is hurt. So the second phase of what I want to say about disappointment is, apart from embracing, is to be grateful for an opportunity to take another step, no matter what it is. Sometimes you may not really have another chance, but because there are cases where it may be that we lose somebody, right? And that is some people's disappointment. You may not really get that person back. So this is also still relative. But in a case where you are able to maybe repair something, there is still hope, then you need to just be grateful for that particular point. So, and the third thing basically is a wrap around having people, right? This like I think for guys generally, guys don't really like to express themselves when they are disappointed. They like box it up. Me especially, like Khalid said, if anything is going on in my life, you may not really know unless I tell you. So like, but if you really feel like this thing is really weighing you down and you need to talk to, I remember in 2019, um, I don't know if it's depression I should call it, but I was worried about a couple of things, and that day I was in my room. I just put a call through to one of our friends, and I can remember like the things she told me that day were things that I actually knew, but hearing it from another person really, really strengthened me and gave me hope that night. I can remember vividly, like it's still very clear in my head. Not as though I don't know those things, but hearing it from another person was really helpful and gave me strength. So the first thing is embracing it. Second thing, be grateful for an opportunity, if there is actually an opportunity to have another chance to do whatever it is you want to do. And the last thing is having like someone or people that you can talk to generally. Yeah.
Let me cut in there, Shogo. So honestly, it's important to feel the feels whenever anything happens, because if you keep bottling things up, you get to a point where there is no more space, there's no more room to keep bottling them in. You'll have to explode, right? So it's important to just feel it whenever you need to. If you have to do it, please do it. There is no award. I don't know if they are sharing an award elsewhere, but there is no award for the hardest guy. There is none. Honestly, we're just suffering in silence. There is no award. But it's also important. It's also important to be careful though. So when you are feeling those emotions, when you're embracing the issues that have happened, it's important to not go into denial. I think that's the part where it might be difficult to get out of it. So be careful not to go into denial. Embrace it, but don't let it continue to weigh you down. Some people like to cry. Some people need to cry, right, to process what they're going through. But there has to be a point where you stop, right? There has to be a point where you let it go, and then you move on to look out solutions. Okay, so don't continue wallowing in that tears. it doesn't solve the actual issue, right? I think because I'm a pretty issue based, solution based person. Whenever something happens, I'm thinking of what's the way out of this, what's the solution. It doesn't mean I don't you know
Engineer.
yeah, I mean that's why I'm a good engineer, of course. Of course. But in other aspects of life, some things you just have to process them first before you start thinking of solutions. Because if you don't even process them completely, you might not understand what the root of the problem is. Right. So it's when you process things, you think about it a little. That's where you identify all the possible sources of the problem, because you need to do that before you think of solutions. So you're not, solving the problem that doesn't exist. You understand? So it's important, but be careful not to go into denial, right? Yeah, that's what I wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's so um welcoming hearing from you guys these things, because honestly, what you have just made mention of, looking at my story again, is like some of the things that kind of happened. I was initially when I got to reality that okay, yes, I've been scammed. I was first of all in denial at some point. I was like, if I can never be scammed. It's not possible. It's not possible. Well, it just got to a point like, bro, you were scammed. Accept it. Right? I had to come to that realization. Yes, it has happened. It has happened. Then the next thing was I called someone and I told the person about it. That this is what's up. Or this is what have happened. I'm not calling the person so that the person can give me a solution to it, right? Because the way it seems to me is like I feel the best way to let things off your mind is to first of all find someone you can talk to, not because you want that person to solve the thing for you, but it just shows that you are sharing your burden with the person. Only you are not just thinking about it at that point in time. So it has a way that it helps, and I can say it's like one of the major reasons I even started this podcast. Like things, a lot of things I go through, and I'll be like, okay, this is like one place for me to be able to just let go of it and talk to people about it, share. If anybody learns any lesson from it, oh well and good. Do you get my point?
But before you move on, what you mentioned just now
Mm-hmm.
is something I thought of recently. A lot of guys don't do that.
Okay.
This is more of a ladies thing. Whenever ladies are having any challenge, they usually want to talk to someone, usually whoever they are with, their partner or
Mm-hmm.
close friend. But guys don't seem to understand that. I've personally had issues with women in the past where you have an issue and then you come to me with that thing, right? You told me about it, so I assume that you want a solution. And then when I talk to you about possible solutions, you just get vexed, right? But actually, later on, I got to understand that some people just want you to, be there for them. Like they just want you to know about the issues they are having, just to empathize with them, not necessarily, problem solving mode instantly. You understand? So I think that's one thing a lot of ladies do naturally, and guys seem to have problems with it. But I think men also probably should do that, because you're not always looking for solutions, but hearing something from someone else's perspective about the same thing, it gives you more clarity. It also helps you to, how do I put this? It helps you to take a step back on some things. You might be overthinking some things, and when someone else tells you the same thing from their point of view, it helps you to have more clarity on that thing and say, oh, right, exactly, this is this I'm talking about, this is that. So I think guys do not tend to do this naturally, is what I'm trying to emphasize here. And for guys, I think you might want
Okay.
to
Yeah.
just have someone to empathize with, even if they can't solve your problems, right?
Mm. Yeah, that's true. Well, Bushra, let me hear from you. What do you think from a lady's perspective? How do you deal with disappointment?
Yeah, so like Mubarak said, most ladies would want to like talk to somebody about it, and even though like you're probably not expecting the person to even provide a solution, you just want them to uh listen and probably just encourage you. But personally, I would say for me, what has been really, or the way I've been going about disappointments is more of I'm a realist. by nature. I tend to face my reality so quickly, and so one way to go about that is, so I look at things from analytical view where I'm like, okay, this has happened, right? I have failed here, or I lost this money, or this happened to me, and I acknowledge it first by agreeing that okay, this has happened. Then the next thing is, how did they happen? Like, I think about it. Is it my fault? What have I done wrong here? So that's where, for me, that's where talking to people can come in. So if I'm not really convinced enough, if I'm not really convinced enough and I feel, oh, maybe it's not my fault, and I'm not just sure, I go to people, just narrate how the whole thing happened, and I I can easily like make my judgment from there, because I initially had the thoughts. Then the person is probably trying to um, just help me acknowledge that thought, that oh, it's actually your fault, right? Or you could have done this better. So I look at things from that way, and say, okay, this is my fault. Okay, next time, how do I um, make sure it doesn't happen again, or what do I need to do better? How do I improve myself? That's on that part. So but when it's like not my fault, then I try to like think about, okay, now I have zero control over this. Do I need to cry about this? Do I need to ask for help? Do I need to just pray about it, or leave it and see what would happen eventually? And I feel this has been like the way I've been handling a lot of things. And well, at the end of the day, I mean, even if it felt like a disappointment at that time, I feel grateful at the end of the day that, oh, thank God this even happened. I I'm doing this better now, or something like that. So that's one thing, one way to look at it. Then the other way
Mm-hmm.
is distraction. So sometimes you just need to be distracted, and I'll say it's good to make sure like one is really engaged in something at every point in time. Sometimes you just need a distraction, like you just, and not necessarily something serious. You just need to maybe just go out, laugh with your friends, and um, you'll get over it. And sometimes you just even need to start doing maybe an hobby. You like to cook, just go cook. uh you like to build drones, go do you. So sometimes you just need to be
Yeah.
distracted and move away from that thing. Yeah, so I think that's the way I've been handling issues, and it's been working so far. But yeah, some people, and I'll add to it. I'll add this. So for ladies, a lot of time, we don't even want to do anything about our problem.
Disappointment works. No, it happens sometimes. We don't expect it to happen the way it happens, right? It just comes suddenly, and right on our feet, we need to just take an action almost immediately and say, okay, what do I do at this point? Do I cave in, or do I find a solution, or do I talk to somebody? So it comes. Don't. Of course, everybody's disappointment might not be exactly the same way, or the way it happens. So, but whatever form it might come in, I think the best is just to first of all accept it and look for, if you can find a solution at that point in time, find a solution. If not, talk to someone about it, right? That can help you with it. So guys, I know you guys have really shared a lot, and on how to be able to deal with disappointment. I just wanted to, I just want to throw in some questions for everybody. And if this question is it like, no, let me say it's a question, it's like a statement, right? If this statement relates to you as a 2023, right? And I just wanted to just talk about it, right? So at this point, I literally want everybody to be very active on it. So if you know this statement relates to you, you can just say something about it. Okay. Number one. Okay. So I learned something I tried, so I learned something new that is not tech related, like a business or.
Oh, not business. I think for now I still
Okay.
see myself as a software engineer for the foreseeable future. So I'm not learning anything professionally or career wise outside of software
Mm-hmm.
engineering. I've been learning some things on the hobby side. I've been taking up some things on the hobby side. So I think I learned to swim. I've been wanting to do this
Oh.
for a long period of time. My mom never allowed me to go to local rivers while I was growing up, so I never learned to swim while I was growing up. I've always wanted to learn it, so I was able to do that this year. Also, I think I love music a lot. I particularly love stringed instruments, so I picked up a guitar in 2023 as well. I started learning.
Mhm.
I think I've been learning personally. It hasn't been going well. I'll be honest, it hasn't been going well.
Oh, okay.
I think mostly because of work and also because I came to realize that it's pretty difficult to learn to play the guitar online. It's not like it's not like tech.
Mm.
It's not like
Yeah.
technology. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I've always thought I can always learn anything online, but it's not the case. So I think for this year, yeah, I have plans for that for this year to just go from there. But last year I think I picked up more of this. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anybody else? Dick, I think you wanted to say something, right? Or
Yeah, yeah. I think for me, what I learned was just more of like I'd say like some soft skills, right? I'm very particular about like not just being good like maybe work wise, but also like being able to like work in a team or lead a team, right? So I would say definitely I learned very important things about like leadership communication. Actually like how you like in business, right? Especially if you're running a startup, you're working on a startup, right? And you're leading a team of people to accomplish a goal or goals, like I have, by God's grace, right? I think it's very important to be able to communicate with people and stakeholders properly. So yeah, that's one thing I learned 2023.
oh, okay. Just to keep my own short, I learned how to make donuts, guys. I make one of the best donuts in Korea at the moment. So
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, I'm serious.
yeah,
I have, yeah, I have a
yeah,
business
man.
around it. Honestly, yeah.
That's really nice. Oh. Innovation.
So yeah.
You go when next are you going to Akure? You can try donut.
Yeah, I'm serious. Anytime you guys are in Akure or coming to Akure, just let me know ahead of time. I can help you arrange like a park or something. Of course.
Ah, okay.
Nice. It's not even show glass. It's packed.
Show glass. Okay.
Bro, designer things, bro. Designer
Oh,
donuts,
gosh.
bro.
Um.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
So okay.
anyway, I
Mm.
I started learning French last year. I
Oh.
know I won't be speaking French here, so just
Super français. Yeah, you show some flex on us now. Yeah, you flex on us. Flex, flex. Whoa.
Oh yeah, Iyanu, challenge. Introduce yourself in French.
uh, je m'appelle
Wow.
Monsieur Iyanu. Euh, je parle français beaucoup. What did I say?
You
No, I'm
speak. You
asking,
speak.
I'm
No,
asking you.
I know what you. I know what you said though. My name is.
What did I
My name
say?
is Monsieur Iyanu. I speak good French. Right?
I speak French a
But
lot.
we need
Which is a lie.
something better here. Though. I can also
Eh?
say that.
Eh,
Jehovah.
As in,
before I could
I
not
can
do that.
also
Before I
drop
could
some
not do
reads in
that.
French.
Eh?
Exactly.
Drop
We need
some
something.
French reads, bro.
Do you get?
I
They
would
taught
not
us.
know
They taught us that
for
one
my
in French.
girlfriend. I don't need to drop it. I don't need to drop it here. Anyways, funny how I took a month break, yeah, like December. I started, learning back yesterday, and it felt like I've stopped for like years.
Mm,
So what am I you know what am I pointing at is consistency is very important.
yep.
That's just that's just what I wanted to say.
Okay.
But yeah,
That's
that's what I picked up last year.
that's cool. So another this is another sentence now. This is another sentence for 2023. I ended a relationship last year.
Damn, boy.
Come out, come out, come out,
Go
come
ahead,
out.
man.
I'll mention names.
Come
Come
on,
out.
though.
Let's 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 just continue from last
Let's
person that
add it.
spoke.
Let's add it. It's
From
not
the last
me.
person that spoke.
How is 2022,
Come
Even if
out.
I
so
ended,
it's
will
not
I
last
tell
year.
you? I will not tell you. I will not.
French man.
It was 2022. It was 2022.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
15
Okay.
years. Why
Kahlid,
you
Yes,
saying
Mr. Strange,
that?
Mr. Strange, a changing
Ah,
time.
leave it.
Doctor Strange, it's Doctor Strange.
Okay. I am.
what's
Let's
Zanzibar saying now?
yeah, let's go to another sentence is this. Um I made more money last year than ever.
mm,
Leke come out.
mm.
Like
Come out now. All of you come out.
Then they fear then they
Come
fear
out.
billing.
Hmm.
oh yeah, Leke, I think the ball is in your court.
That's Shogo's. I'm renting Shogo's court. If the boy is anybody's court,
And the
but
fear billing now.
Wait, if I,
You know,
so
but
yeah.
the sentence is a reference to like what you
Last
learned last year and
no yeah. Your experience last year. So if the sentence I'm gonna be saying, if it applies to you, if it applies to something that you experienced last year, then you just talk about the experience.
okay, yeah, I think I can talk about that. Well, not because I
Okay.
made so much money, but because I was reckless, and I
Mm,
will talk about that in like also referencing to my plan for 2024. So at the end of 2023, I felt, oh, let me even do my finance. Let me see where I am, and I realized that yeah, I had a lot of money, right? But I still felt, what did I spend my money on? Like I still felt I didn't have enough, and not because I was really like spending recklessly, but that's majorly because I wasn't keeping track of my finance. Like I in my head I was just calculating. I was like, oh, I had this project, I did that, I did this, and it still didn't justify, or I wasn't even like still convinced about, oh, this is how much I should have in savings at the end of the year, and this is how much I have. And I mean, if I'm saying this to like a regular person, the person would be like, oh, we have money now. But for me, I felt I should have saved more than that. And that's majorly because I wasn't intentional about my finance. It was more of, oh, I have a project, okay, I just picked out money and I was spending, saving in a freestyle mode, right? So for me this year, what I did this I think last 2 weeks was to create a spreadsheet for myself, and I had a tab where I did like a full accounting of how much do I have, how much have I saved, or how much do I have in the old 2023, like both physical, or if I have money or an asset saved somewhere. And I feel that way I can say, oh, I closed 2023 with 2 naira, and 2024 starting afresh in January, I was able to save this so amount February. And I mean, that's the plan for me, to be able to keep track of uh my savings, especially, and also when I spend for a whole year. And also, one thing I also didn't do last year is I was doing a lot of investment in crypto and some other stuff, and I didn't keep track of that. I mean, I was making money in some and I was losing money in some, but I wasn't doing like a balance check to even know. I just check my wallet and I'm like, oh, I still have money. Okay, good. I'm still holding this token. Oh, it's back to zero now, or this has doubled. Like it was a freestyle thing, which I don't think is, which I think is not so good, especially with the kind of exposure I have in terms of finance. So moving forward, I need to like make sure I keep track of every penny I spend or every investment I've made, which I think everyone also needs to emulate. Like, it's really
Yeah,
important, especially for people like us. Like, we are very young and we're making money. I won't say a lot of money, but yeah, we're making something, and it feels like you have money. Like,
It's a lot for some people. Not for some people.
yeah, that's why I
These
said
ones, yeah,
maybe a
these
lot of.
ones, yeah, are making a lot.
So
Hmm.
it doesn't make sense if people like us can't keep track of our finance. Like, you just spending and
Yeah.
you feel there will be
Mm.
money tomorrow again. Like, to me, just I felt so bad thinking about it, and I hope, really, really
Yeah.
hope to do better this year. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because I myself have even been thinking, I think for one of the episodes on the tag, that there's going to be like this, maybe, of course it cannot be me because I'm not the best financial expert really, even keeping my records. Well, thank God for people like Biggie Vest and Carry Wise in our life. You get what? I probably have somebody that would, come around and just share a bit more on how to be able to have like a proper financial budgeting for the year or for whatever it is that you want to do. So Khalid, yeah, how much money did you make last year?
Yeah, so what I wanted to say,
Mm.
like my own so I mean my own story is quite weird because like so because like I mean I started like so I would say this year because like part of it started happening like mid last year, right? So I would say okay, I made a lot of money this year, but it's not actually about how much you made, right? It's about the net income of everything at the end of the day, right? And so I would say I did make, at least for the first half of the year and maybe a little part of 2022, I did make quite some money, but I also spent quite a lot of money, right? And I wasn't even wasting money. It was just um, I have a pretty, we know, like I have a pretty, like my family was like, so like the moment I started earning money, my family was like, yeah, you are that guy. Do you
Mm.
get? And I had issues with telling my family members no. And it was not
Mm.
my immediate family members, right?
Mhm.
So if it was my immediate family members, yeah, I'll do anything for my mom, I'll do anything for my dad, whatever. But it was, yeah, I was looking at extended family members and I was looking at, just assisting family members generally because I was this family over everything guy,
Mm.
right? But it affected me quite a bit because while I made some money or a lot of money, I also spent a lot of money trying
Mm.
to assist people, right? So I think I didn't even wait for it to be a New Year resolution. I had to like cut it off mid last year and say, yo, fuck this, man. Like you should learn to say no, like sometimes, because like some of the things and some of the things people come to meet you for to assist them with. It's you realize that it's actually irresponsible on their part, and you should probably
Mm.
leave them to face the consequences of that thing, right? But then people will speak to you and you'll be like, this and that, like Yoruba, but yeah, and things like that. And then
Wow.
yeah, and then you eventually just give in and
Mm.
assist with it. And then um I so at some point I had to like speak to my mom, and yeah, I spoke to my mom, and my mom was like, my mom taught me certain things, right? That day that actually really like changed everything. She told me she first of all actually told me that even because like I was such a family guy.
Mm.
If I get a boost in income today, my mom probably is the first person that will know. Next person that will know is my sister. I probably, I mean, I probably would tell my dad like after like 2 months or something. But but yeah, my mom will be the first to know. And my mom told me there and then that I shouldn't even be telling her. Like she shouldn't have any business with like how much you are earning, right? So that she wouldn't have expectations of you when you are when you finally when they assume that you get that money because I'm a salary baby, right? And then I'm like, okay, the month end don't reach, and then those people will now start moving to you again, and she will be like, she wouldn't have any expectation at the end of the month
Mm.
from one son somewhere because she doesn't know how much the son is earning, right? So
Mm.
my mom herself told me there and then, like, you should don't share your income with me, don't
Mm.
share it with your sister. And she didn't even say it because she wanted to fight with me, or she felt my sister was taking too much money from me or whatever. But it was just, don't share with me.
Mm.
So she included herself, like, don't share with me. So nobody has any expectation of you. They will just see that you're balling in Lagos.
Mm.
And whether you are balling nice or you are using another person's money to ball, they will know. Right. So yeah, I had a very lengthy discussion with my mom about
Mm.
about my finances, and she assisted me quite a lot.
Mm.
And my dad is quite a finance expert too. But yeah, my dad is like this businessman, economic
Mm.
guru kind of guy. But it doesn't mean he won't tax you, right? When he wants to. But yeah, he also taught me to be stingy too. But I mean, he didn't mean it like stingy, but he just taught me like, yeah, I had to say no to some of
Mm.
these things, and which I started doing, and it improved my finances quite a bit
Mm.
mid last year. So I would say it's mostly about the net at the end of the day. So making a lot of money doesn't matter if you spent more than half of it or two-thirds of it at the end of the day, right? So even if you made 1 billion, it's only maybe 100 million that is left with you. I don't know.
Ah,
Yeah.
ah.
So that's just it.
Mm. Sugar. Sugar.
Okay.
Not that I made
Let me
1 billion.
quickly,
No, I don't say 1 billion.
let me quickly just run through. I know that we're almost out of time. So for me, this year was, oh sorry, last year rather was good in term financially. So I've never had to do like, I worked in a place where we worked with bank statements a lot. I used to rather work in a place that we worked in bank statements a lot, and I never actually tested my the app we're building then with my bank statement. Like we're always using like other bank statements and other people were in the team. But last year, I needed to do like travel, and I needed like my bank statement, and that was when I saw that, oh wow, like this amount of money is actually going through my account. Now, like at that point, the realization to me was not particularly excitement. I was not anxiety at the same time. So it was more of, okay, I need to be more serious with. I am very meticulous, especially with spending. I'm not really a very big spender. I don't really even have a lot of things I spend money on. So um, it's not about. I was not scared about my, but I was more. I think I was just more concerned that I needed to be more serious with the way I actually channeled my money. So prior to that time in 2022, sorry, 2021, 2021, they brought where I used to work then, we used to have this launch series. So they brought this financial person in one of those days, and the person actually taught us some things that day about, like, not the funny thing is not as if I didn't even know what the person was teaching, but I the person made it clear why we needed to actually take it serious. The person talked about emergency funds, the person talked about savings, the person talked about investments, the person talked about like how you manage your expenses and write things down. And I think I remember that day. From that day myself, I just took it up upon myself, and I created like a document. I designed a document and a template that I would use monthly to handle my expenses. And this year, like I I invested more time into like knowing like how I'm going to spend my money, how I'm going to channel my money, and like sorry, last year rather, we're already in 2024, and like I got like extra, what's it called, source of incomes, and I was ensuring that I was not spending like I didn't need to spend like my extra income. Like I saw that I didn't need to spend my extra income. I could use them for other investment. I could use them. I could even leave them for maybe emergency. I divided my income into like different things to do different things for me. So like I'm just saying this based on what Bushra was sharing earlier too. So I think it's maybe a very good thing that like for most of us, what I have noticed most times, though at the same time, I don't really like to share anything about finance with people because you can't really police people on how they will spend their money. Like you worked hard for your money, so you can decide to spend your money or anyhow you want. But at the same time, there are just some basic things that you should do as a person. Like it's not because anybody wants to police you or try to put a limit to what you're supposed to spend, but it's just very good. Like there are things that could happen. I know that we're very brilliant and intelligent engineers and whatnot, but at the same time, we need to just create some structure around our finances, especially as we progress in our careers, of course, and as we grow as human beings, of course. So that's just like what I wanted to share. So like I put like proper structure even to my finance last year. Like I made like better decisions like with money. I have like money that before 2021 I was very affasad with maybe giving people money, lending people money, doing a lot of non-profits that were not documented. But like I have like records of non-profits that I do and things that are related to investments. I can give records and whatnot on those things. But I don't know. 2023 was a good year in terms of money making. Sure. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Mm, made some money. That's good. I think I would probably reach out to you personally, Shogo and Bushra, to kind of have like a template how you guys do these things, because I don't want to assume that everybody knows what he or she is supposed to do, right? So just to kind of have something, maybe if that time is possible, depending on you guys schedule, we can like have a much more broader talk on it, right? And see, kind of break it down on what you need to do, how to be able to have that documentation, and if you can give access to that, of course, it's something that the listeners on the Tag will really enjoy and will love. So yeah, thanks guys for sharing. I really do appreciate it. um
Yeah,
yeah,
for
okay.
me, if I could just chip in real quick, yeah, I think for me, 2023, yes, for sure, made more money than previous years,
Mm,
owing to two things. Increasing my salary, thank God for that, and also like some side investments and whatnot that came through, right? But also, I think like we discussed earlier, it's not just around like how much you make, like also there's the spending as well, right? I
mm,
think for on my side, cost of like living kind of went up for me because I lived for the better part of last year. I lived in the United States, right? I lived in New York, especially. So it was like rent was very expensive compared to like living in Nigeria. Food
yeah.
was more expensive and things like that, right? So and then traveling as well, and then transportation and things like that was like a very it was like a big shift in cost of living for me. But in terms of like being conscious of like the spending, I think what helped was like I was tracking how much I was spending on stuff, right? I was tracking how much I was spending on rent, on food. I think like especially like as tech people, right? Um, we tend to like easily inflate our lifestyle, right? Because something lifestyle inflation, where like you just and a single amount of money, and then your lifestyle changes, right? You want to buy like the latest gadgets, you want to buy like very nice cars, you want to live in very nice apartments, you want to like buy a lot of nice clothes, nice shoes, and things like that that otherwise you wouldn't be able to buy before. And actually, go so you can't police what someone spends their money on, but I feel like there's a need to curtail like lifestyle inflation. I think for me definitely did a good amount of that. Although I was a bit frugal. Like for example, like for like maybe some months I was like ordering food every day, right? On
Mm.
Uber Eats, on DoorDash, and I was like spending like like to look at that amount of money like every day, right? Until I came to the realization like okay, I do not need to be spending this amount of money on food, right? And I started like cooking. I started going back to cooking. Like I was cooking before when I was like still like on the come up, right? But I stopped cooking because I was so busy at work, or so I told myself, right? And things like that. But when I saw what I was spending on food, I was like, nah, this is
Mm.
crazy. So I started like cooking. I started going back to cooking, and it's something I enjoy now. Now, so I cook my food now. I rarely order food now. So I think it's just good to also cut it. Whilst in fact you also like put in like effort into like tracking everything, right? You can still be tracking and still be spending, right?
Yeah.
As was the case was for me, right? But also making sure like being putting an intentional effort into not influencing your lifestyle suddenly. I think it's very important as well.
Yeah, yeah, true talk, really. And sorry to just cut in with this. Talking about food, I have a question from my mom, Leke. She said I should ask, so how was the semo and the egusi?
It was good.
What? What? What?
Yeah, I went to Rube's
What?
house.
Yo,
When was
explain
that?
yourself, man. Explain yourself, man.
Yeah, I went to Rube's house. That was last week, right? So, because I was like, it's not even that I saw Rube, right? Ever since we moved to Accra and everything, I don't think I've seen him since 2021. So I was like, yo, my
Mm.
bro is in Ife, and I was in Ife. I was like, yeah, I gotta pull up, and I pulled up to his house, and his parents were so wonderful. They offered me food, so it was good. Funny enough, I don't eat salmon, but that salmon was good. Like, so I mean, send my appreciation to
Mm.
her once again.
No worry. She's a big fan of Dota. She will be listening.
Nice,
Oh
nice,
god.
nice.
So one last question, right? It's kind of a bit of follow up on some of the things that Deke has been talking about. But guys, this is the last sentence. Um, Nigeria is home for me.
Uh,
That's
I
Tayo.
mean,
Tayo is Tayo. It's Tayo.
yeah,
Wow.
For obvious
exactly. I
reasons
mean,
that I
if
don't
I
want to
was
mention
here,
on the tag. I don't want to
right,
mention his feelings.
this.
Wow. So nobody is thinking Nigeria is home for them at this
But
point
I
right
mean,
now.
Kahlid.
Um,
so what is home really? You can leave home now. I mean,
Mm, that's another perspective, oh,
the,
guy.
actually,
the funny thing for me,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead, Mubarak, go ahead, Mubarak.
Oh yes, I'd say I identify with that. I think that way really, and the reason why is I think it was in this. Which anime was that? I think it was in Naruto. I recently rewatched it again. There was this phrase. It says, home is where people think about you," and that's something I like. I like that phrase. I like that sentence. Home is where people think about you. So personally, me, I think I want to take on a nomad lifestyle. I want to travel the world. I want to explore different places. But I think of Nigeria as the place where I have to always come back to. And the reason is simple. It's where I have people that loves me, that knows me right from my childhood. So even if I eventually end up leaving Nigeria because of the state of things, I will always come back here, really, because I mean, I might move everybody in my family out of the country as well, but I mean, there's a limit, right? There is a possible limit. So, but Nigeria is where you know people, you know a lot of people, people think about you. I think that's why I'll still call Nigeria home, even if I end up leaving soon.
Okay. Mubarak is literally speaking for himself, I know, but any other person that has like a contrary opinion to what
I
Mubarak
mean,
said.
So I think for the most part, right? If Nigeria does get better, because like I'm not a prophet of doom. I won't say nah, Nigeria is done for good and everything. I feel like yeah, I would come back to Nigeria if Nigeria gets better, right? And the truth is like you cannot really, like, for many of us, right? Nigeria is good. It's like the best place you can stay because like there is no racism in Nigeria. Nobody will call you nigger. Oh, sorry, that's out of podcast word. But my point is, nobody would racially abuse you outside in Nigeria, at least for the most part. And yeah, that's it, right? So Nigeria is home, really, but home has to be good for me to want to stay home. And if home actually does get better, I would come back definitely. Like I don't think there's anywhere I would rather be than than being in Nigeria. Like I like Lagos. I like the whole nightlife. I
Mm,
mean, the way we do it, even though it's quite the lifestyle cost, but still,
mm,
I like it. And it always fascinates me when I go for shows and I see my favorite artist singing Yoruba, because I personally don't listen to a lot of foreign songs, right? So if that's what's being played in and around me, it becomes like very difficult for me to relate to things. Like I want people to speak to me and I hear what they are saying instantly, not like listening to some weird accents and me having to say sorry, come again, things like that.
mm.
So yeah, Nigeria is home, but home has to be good before I can stay.
Yeah,
Before I can stay at home. I beg.
yeah. Mubarak said home is where they think about you. Khalid is saying that home has to be good for you to be able to even call it home in the first place.
Yeah. So in the spirit of dropping quotes, home is where you
A man.
Let him cook. Let him cook. Let him cook. Let him cook. Let him cook.
anyways, it's very simple. Home is where you feel safe. Home is where you are that EFCC will not come in the midnight to come and
Bro
Yeah.
chose violence. Bro
so
chose violence.
home,
Mm,
home is not where you go to church December 31st to pray for Nigeria and they want to increase for to 1,200 naira like 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Uh,
Like January 3rd, bro. New
so
New Year, New
I mean,
Nigeria.
New Year blessings squashed.
New Year old Nigeria. So I don't know, man. Home is where I feel safe, to be honest. Home is where I don't have to do the most to get access to the basics.
Yeah, word,
Mm-hmm.
word,
yeah,
word,
yeah.
So,
word.
Yeah, and I feel you guys as well, right? Because for me, right, this is a very very interesting uh topic, right? Like, what do you call them, right? So like there are a lot of things I think about. Like I'm also like a very family oriented person, right? Very family oriented, friend relationship oriented as well, right? So for example, let's say Nigeria was a good country, right? Um, you start making good money. Your thought should not be to leave the country so you can enjoy the money you're making. Your thought should be starting
Mhm.
your own family and building your own unit from there, right? And yeah, so exactly, if Nigeria was really home, right, you should be able to do that, have your own children, your parents are very close, your parents and your parents in laws are close to your children,
Mhm.
they are like maybe like driving distance away from each other. You have to worry about somebody kidnapping your parents on
Mhm.
the road coming to visit you and things like that. Right. So there is also like there's that bit of like, oh yeah, you want your family to be close, like because that's what home is, right? Where you have everybody you love, right, around you, supporting you, and you can lean on them, you can really see them, and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's like we are in a very um unfortunate situation as young Nigerians, where like you have these aspirations, you have like these dreams of like, I mean, like growing up, like growing up very young, like it's like 5 years or 6 years or 7 years or 8 years old even. Like the thought was not to leave the country, really. I don't know if anybody was thinking about that. Probably the thought was like travel around the world and see the world, if anybody was thinking about
Mm-hmm.
that. But so I was like, oh, good, my parents replicate the same thing they are doing with me as well, and things like that, right? But just it's so unfortunate that we have to look for home elsewhere, right? And the truth is like we can have multiple homes, right? You don't have to have one home or one house, right?
Mm,
You can just have you can have
Word,
your home
word,
can be
word, word,
Nigeria,
word,
but you can also be
word.
but you can also create another home somewhere else, somewhere you feel like somewhere you feel safe, right? But nowadays, like it's just gonna be a very much harder thing to establish, right? If you so in Nigeria, someone already built that home for you, right? Maybe your parents or your parents' parents already built the home for you, and then you're just like born into it. But when you like go outside of the country, move out of the country, you have to start your own home from start. Like you're starting a new generation really from somewhere else. Of course, you can bring your family over to the same place, but again, you're just going to be the one starting that off, and it's a very interesting problem, right? But at the end of the day, like everyone said, right? Um, home is where people think about you, and you can always create a new home.
yeah.
Really, it's gonna be difficult. You can't have everybody, but you can have most
Hmm.
people that are very much important to you.
Yeah, true, 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 true. Honestly,
Yeah, if
guys,
please,
I'm,
permit
I'm
me to
okay.
just
Sure,
drop
go.
something. Yeah, thank you. So I think the topic, I know this topic is a very controversial topic, and like there's going to always be like different school of thoughts. But this is my own view. I used to have this kind of mindset in 2015, 16, 17. Then that are going to transform Nigeria, that are going to change this country, and like and that was like the mindset I had. But it got to a point in my life I also that I don't think I don't think this thing I'm thinking, you know, is
Wow.
feasible.
The Lulu.
And- you know, it's not as if it's not possible. The more you want to think about it, the more you see even your neighbors, they are thinking in the opposite direction. I've had conversation with other young people, and they said if they get an opportunity to be politicians or whatever, they are going to also look for a means of like maybe eating the country up or something like that. you know and like there is a lot of problems. We have like a grassroots problem. The problem is not a political problem. It's a we have like a mindset that is wrong, like, and
Yeah,
it is
that's the
the
word.
people that we are voting for, right? That the people that we are voting for to be politicians, for instance, are coming from us. They are coming from us, like the same brain with their brain nine, then they carry go the Aso Rock and whatnot. So I think so much that when it comes to saying, so should I travel out or should I stay in the country, I feel like if God forbid, right, if I die today, I'm of no use to that home that I'm in quotes holding firm onto. If police shoots me while I'm going to maybe to go and eat in Maples in the night or going somewhere else, like I'm of no use to my family again at that point. Like I'm going to be, sorry to say, God forbid, a source of sadness to them. So I feel so much that I'd rather be in a place where the people who are at home will still be at peace, knowing that I'm in a place where I cannot be hurt. So that's my own mindset about like when it comes to maybe you should live abroad or whatnot. Of course, we would always come back home to be with our families and whatnot. But I really feel like I'm better for my family. I'm that homo if I am kept safe and there is no pressure on my life that wants to cut off my head. Like, I don't even want to
Mm,
mention like controversial topics about the riots and the protests that have happened in the past and people that lost their lives and whatnot. Like it's painful today that many of those people that fought for like answers and whatnot. Like if they had the chance to be alive today, they would be actually be alive and they will be well for their family. So I don't think like it's worth it to lose your life, and like because we want to maybe cling to our family. I understand the perspective, right? But I'm just trying to like say my own mind around the concept of home
Mm-hmm.
and like what we have there
Yeah,
Yeah.
traveling
Shogo.
out.
It,
Let me Shogo, let me pose a question to you as well. That is always on my mind. It's regarding like what you post, right? It's like, yeah, I get like I also feel the same way where like it's better to be safe, to be safe and far away, and people are at peace at home, back home in Nigeria, right? But I also think about it like, what if there's a situation where there's something that's happening to them where if I was around, I would have been able to resolve it or save them or something like that, right? Or like be of more use, and then I'm thousands of miles away, right? And I can't do anything than to just like hope. That's also like it's
Yeah.
Don't
just
worry,
there's
I'll employ somebody. I'll employ somebody.
so there's like that
No, I think
interesting
I get
thought.
what you are saying, but the thing is, right? That's why I'm saying it's like my mindset is not a perfect or the ideal mindset. Like it is just an
Mm-hmm.
opinion. It's one of the possibilities.
Yeah.
We are not omnipresent. Like there are many things that
Mm-hmm.
even when you are around, you wish you can do for your family. You know, there are things that money cannot even solve. You have a lot of money, and there are people that have a lot of money that money cannot solve their problem. There are people that even your presence cannot solve their problem. So I feel that that is even like still sort of subjective in a way because um, even if I was around, there are still things that I might not be able to solve for my family. So we'll just hope that um, I say God would help us to make the right decision, especially like traveling is may not be for everyone. I don't know. I don't know. Traveling may not be for anyone, of course, but if for instance, let me just give this quickly because I know that like we are out of time. If for instance, maybe you need to consider a lot of things. For instance, if I have a sick loved one and I do not necessarily need to travel, like they need me to be around them, they need me to be with them here. Like I should not be selfish at that point and say, oh, I must necessarily travel, I must be in Canada, I must be in the US, I must be in London or whatever, right? I should make myself available to them and show them care and whatnot. But um if peradventure the case is not like that and you are able to travel and it doesn't demand you, yes, why not like take advantage of that opportunity. So like it's just left to your discretion, like to you, your discretion, to the situation around you and your loved ones and whatnot. So it's not the ball is in everybody's court actually. Yeah, there's no strict
Mm-hmm.
answer to it.
yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's just an
That's true.
interesting
Most
bread
most
question.
yeah, most likely I think maybe like there's just having this conversation right now is just bringing a lot of ideas that podcast topics that I think one needs to talk about that people don't really talk about. So this is also something else that I think we might have to dedicate a special episode for it and discuss around it and see what are people's opinion. What do you think home should be to you? Exactly. So with all the punchlines that you guys have dropped now, the philosophers amongst us.
In a punchline.
Yeah, yeah. So so like now, I know just let's just move to 2024, right? This we're in 2024 right now. So for 2024, right? What's your the goals that you have in mind, right? Do you think you can achieve those goals that you have in mind? Let me start from Bushra. Very short, very short. So the goals that I know you already have goals for 2024. Do you think you have enough resources, or do you think you have all it takes to be able to get it done? Very short.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I'll make it brief. Yeah, I think so, because this 2024, the plan is to be really intentional about anything I do, and which also translates into how I'm thinking about like my goals for the year. I didn't make that long list. I made a very short list, and I mean, if I can achieve all by mid-year, then I'm good. Like, I'll feel fulfilled for the year. So I only highlighted things that I feel will make me feel fulfilled, which is really important to me. Like, yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's fine. So because in the spirit of the podcast, right? I don't want us to rush this whole thing. So I'm thinking, I think my guys are saying that they're going to be available for another podcast. So most likely we'll be meeting again and we'll all discuss about these goals for 2024. Of course, most likely that might be our next episode, but we are going to find another time to record um for the goals because I literally don't want to rush the episode, but I'm happy for the things that we have discussed today. Very, very eye opening, and I really appreciate every one of you guys. Iyanu, Sogo, Mubarak, Leke, Khalid, and Bushra. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you guys for coming on this show, podcast show. And to my listeners at home, really, one thing I wanted to know is you can do amazing things, and each step that you take adds to the good things in your life, right? Dole Tag is wishing everyone a happy new year, a lot of peace, success, and many chances to do what you want. So please follow your passion this year, and well, the sky would be your starting point, basically. So thank you guys. Anybody has any last word? No one
Last
last
word.
punchline I want to show.
No grief for anybody.
No.
No grief for
No, I'm
anybody.
telling you, no
Even
grief
those goals, even
for
those
any
plans you have for
for
the year,
any fucking
No,
soul.
no
no
grief for
grief for
those
yourself.
goals.
No grief
No
for
grief.
yourself.
No grief for yourself.
Oh, God. That's fine.
For
Thanks,
yourself,
guys.
man.
Okay, thank
But
you,
but
everyone.
but yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for
Yeah,
having
thanks,
us
Eva. Thanks for
on your
hosting
podcast.
us. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
I'm happy. I'm happy for this. Mm, I'm happy for this. So this is going to be a wrap. Thank you guys for joining us. And as always, you can subscribe on our Spotify. Listen to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast. So thank you, everyone, and have a lovely day ahead. Goodbye.